It's great to see such enthusiasm on North Australia. Thank you, Mr Acting Deputy President. I move to take note of the Minister's statement and thank him for providing the Senate with an update on the government's implementation of the Northern Australia White Paper. This is an opportunity to obviously provide much-needed advice to the government, and I join with my colleagues Senator Green and Senator Watt on the issues they've raised in relation to Queensland. I'd like to speak about the Northern Territory, and I know that our colleague Senator Dodson has very similar concerns with the Kimberley region in WA. And just on that, Mr Acting Deputy President, I'd like to acknowledge our visitors from the Torres Straits. Lovely to have you here. Thank you for taking the time to travel so many kilometres to listen, but also to let politicians know how important the Torres Strait Islands are to our country and to all Australians. It's been 4 years since the Prime Minister, Tony Abbott, released the Northern Australia White Paper, an essential part of the government's plan to build a strong, prosperous economy. It announced we will fix the roads and telecommunications, build the dams and deliver the certainty that landholders and water users need. Well, what a letdown that has been. The government's North Australia Infrastructure Facility promised $5 billion in concessional loans for projects throughout the north. 4 years on, just 1%, less than $50 million of its $5 billion budget has been released. 1%. And what's more, in the meantime, they've racked up about $26 million in running costs. $26 million out of $40-odd million that could be so sensibly spent where we need it in these remote regions of our country in the north. It is an indictment on the NAIF that 4 years after it was announced, the amount spent on executive and staff salaries, travel, consultants and other administrative costs is approaching the amount actually released for projects in Northern Australia. Shame on you and shame on the government for allowing and enabling that waste. At recent hearings in Nhulunbuy and Darwin, Senator Watt, the Shadow Minister for Northern Australia, took the committee into the Northern Australia agenda, hearing frustrations felt by the people of the top end, people like Ian Q from the Darwin Business Group, who told the hearing, if we just muddle along like we have for the last 4 or 5 years with a lot of fancy reports but not much real action, then that's not going to do much for the economy. Mr David Malone from Master Builders NT asked us, is the Commonwealth slowly abandoning the north? I asked Mr Canavan, are you abandoning the north? Because that is how it feels. The Prime Minister still hasn't visited the Northern Territory since the federal election. He raced up there in January. Before the election, raced up there, wanted to get out there to Kakadu, which is one of the most beautiful places that needs so much infrastructure and rebuild, races out there only to get out there because he knew Labor was going out there to make an announcement. And then, wins the election, and we haven't seen hair nor hide from him, have we? It would appear that he simply does not care. And it's well past time for Mr Morrison to spend time in the Northern Territory to learn about the importance of projects and the need for investment. It's time Mr Morrison heard directly from Territorians, saw the state of Northern Territory roads and understood why spending on Kakadu is so important. There is a real need for investment in critical infrastructure in the Northern Territory, yet you cannot see that, feel that, get a sense of that by sitting in the seat of the cook.
Your time has expired, and the time